Hey guys, Randomizer version 8.29 has been released, and with that comes a brand new update video, so make sure you guys watch this video so you aren't retroactively changing your routing once you realize the new standards have changed. My name is Sakura, and let's get started. With the version 8.29 update, we have added 24 new sprites to the mix, including some from Pokemon, Mario, the Final Fantasy series, and many more. Be sure to check out all their animations, as there are a lot of great ones in this new bunch. Mode is no longer a randomizer setting. Instead, it's been split into two new settings. The first new setting is called State. This is where you will choose between standard or open. Standard being rescue Zelda and go through the escape to end the rain state, and open being start in Link's house or sanctuary, and the rain state has already ended. The second setting is the sword setting. The first option for that one is Uncle Assured, where the uncle always has a sword and the other three are randomized. The second option is randomized, and that's where all four swords are randomized. And the last one, of course, is swordless, where there are no swords. With the two new settings, this gives us three new combinations. The first being open state standard swords. This will allow the player to play the old open mode, but with a guaranteed sword at the uncle. The second option is standard state randomized swords, and this allows the uncle to give one of 7 weapons, specifically the sword upgrade, the hammer, the bow plus max arrow refill, bombs plus max bomb refill, fire rod plus max magic refill, Cane of Samaria plus max magic refill, and Cane of Burna plus max magic refill. In easy difficulty, you will have infinite magic, bombs, or arrows depending upon which of the items Uncle gives you. This of course ends once you've rescued Zelda and end up in the sanctuary. The third option is standard state swordless mode, which is the exact same as the previous, except for sword upgrades are obviously not possible. If you're looking for the old modes, you can achieve them with the following settings. To access standard mode, you would select standard state, Uncle Assured swords. For open mode, you would select open state, randomized swords. And for swordless, you would select open state, swordless swords. ROM options have been moved to a more appropriate location, and 2 new options have been added. The first one is HUD heart color selection, where you can choose between blue, yellow, red, and green hearts. And the second option is quick swap for non-race ROMs. If you use a headered ROM, the site will now strip the header out before use. The website has been updated with lots more content, so make sure to check out all of the pages on the website in order to stay up to date with all things Randomizer. A brand new variation called Retro Mode has been added, which aims to incorporate some elements of Zelda 1. The first element, of course, is the rupee bow. The bow will no longer use arrows for ammo. Instead, it uses rupees. It'll cost 10 rupees to fire a wooden arrow and 50 rupees to fire a silver arrow. Wooden arrows and silver arrows are now independent of the bow. That means you must obtain a wooden arrow to use wooden arrows, and you would need to obtain a silver arrow to use silver arrows. Wooden arrows are not another item in the item pool. They must be bought from shop. 5 shops, excluding the potion and bomb shops, now have new stock. You could purchase wooden arrows for 80 rupees and small keys for 100 rupees. In retro mode, small keys are no longer dungeon specific. There's one global pool for the entire game. Small keys are also randomized outside of their dungeons, just like in KEYSANITY. Keys under pots or dropped by enemies have not been changed. 10 keys have been removed from the pool in normal and easy difficulty, and 15 small keys have been removed from the pool in hard, expert, and insane difficulty. In retro mode, you're now going to want to check those random single entrance caves, houses, etc., because these can now lead to Take Any Caves. In Take Any Caves, you can find your choice of a heart container or a blue potion refill, or there's one random single entrance cave which leads to a sword upgrade. This sword upgrade was taken from the item pool, so there's now one less sword than usual to be found outside this cave. Some other things to note about retro mode: big keys, maps, and compasses have not been randomized outside of their dungeons, and the devs have replaced all arrows in the item pool as well as arrows under pots with blue rupees. If you move the purple chest from its original spot and leave it somewhere on the overworld, it would ordinarily remain there. In Randomizer, however, this can lead to issues since blind will despawn if the purple chest isn't in its original spot and hasn't been delivered to the thief. Therefore, some minor changes have been made in which the purple chest returns back to its original spot when either you enter the basement of the Thieves' Town while blind is still in her cell, or you complete a crystal dungeon. This ensures blind never despawns, but lets you be more creative with your purple chest tours. The Great Fairy Fountains now only let you select bottles when attempting to throw items into the fountains. You can also no longer softlock if you speak to them with 0 throwable items. The Crystal Skull has been added to the entrance randomizer. This requires collecting all 7 crystals and beating Ganon, but may not require beating Ganon's tower. Madness Shuffle has now been replaced with Cross Shuffle. This is similar to Full Shuffle, except that multi-entrance caves can have entrances in both the light and the dark world. Ganon's tower and Ganon are now randomized in all shuffles. Single and multi-entrance caves are now intermingled, except on Simple Shuffle. And it's no longer possible to enter fake light worlds or dark worlds in any shuffles. Insanity Shuffle now randomizes Moon Pearl and Magic Mirror. The devs have updated the softlock fix for Swamp Palace to more closely mimic the original game's behavior. The first water room undrains if you exit the dungeon, and you must transition a screen before returning to the dungeon. The second water room will stay permanently filled even if you exit and transition the screen. The third and final water room, where you can drown a key, will undrain when you exit the dungeon. Note, for the last one, you do not need to transition a screen in order to get it to reset. For KEYSANITY, maps and compasses have been added to the logic as a requirement for dungeon completion. They are not required in order to beat the dungeons, but they will at least always be accessible if a dungeon is required. Speaking to Sahashala and the bomb shop guy now adds the relevant info to the map. All native dungeon items now have text boxes, and small keys have been added to the spoiler log. For TRIFORCE Piece Hunt, there are now 30 pieces in the item pool, and 20 need to be collected for all difficulties. Also, the counter is now able to display 3 digits. Timed one-hit KO has been updated to better balance the difficulties. There are no blue clocks, which are -2 minutes, and for more information on the timing changes, please see the full patch notes linked in the description below. Some other changes to the randomizer includes the front door being permanently locked during the rain state to Aghanim's tower. The chest game now plays a "You found a prize" chime when you get the unique item. The stored water walk that was broken in version 28 has returned for version 29. The devs have replaced a 3-bomb with a 10-bomb pack in the item pool. The devs have fixed lots of typos and translated all the remaining Japanese text. For Customizer, Link's starting equipment bottles can now be set, and Link's starting health can also be set. Hard and difficulty adjustments can now be set. You can allow darkroom navigation. The devs have added a test generation button so you don't bloat the database when testing ideas. You can now save and restore your settings. And you can add notes to your custom games. Updated Palace of Darkness logic so there should be no possibility to keylock in KEYSANITY, and also managed to retain the possibility for Bo ending up in the back half of the dungeon. Sword level is explicitly referenced in 2 places. The first is Trinix requires can extend magic 2 if hammer or tempered sword are unavailable. And if silver arrows are not in the item pool, for example expert and insane difficulties, then Ganon requires tempered sword and magic, or fire rod and can extend magic 2, or master sword and lamp or fire rod and can extend magic 3. Also, Mothula's logic's been updated in overworld glitches because Moon Pearl was missing. It was possible to defeat Mothula without the Moon Pearl, but it isn't always possible because it relies upon fake Dark World, which you lose access to upon beating Aghanim. Gloves have been added to part of the Desert Palace can complete function in overworld glitches. All difficulties have been rebalanced. If you would like to know more information about the rebalances done, please click the full patch notes in the links down below. For those of you who are rando racers, this is the part for you. The item fill algorithm has changed for version 29. The fill algorithms for maps and compasses have been updated in this version. Previously, if a location was skipped over when placing big keys and small keys because it was not possible for them to be placed there, then map and compass would be placed into these locations in high frequency. The benefit of the new algorithm is that the location for the maps and compasses is picked entirely at random, so there's no longer any bias towards these spots that were skipped over. These locations are now more likely to contain progression items than before, however they're not more likely than any other location. This has simply brought them in line with the other locations, since they were underrepresented before due to the bias. In essence, this adds a little more value to the overworld locations. The item fill algorithm for Ganon's Tower has been adjusted. Ganon's Tower is pre-filled with a random number between 0 and 15 of items from the junk pool, that includes rupees, bombs, etc., before placing any other items into the world. Historically, this applied to all randomizer combinations. However, TRIFORCE Hunt pre-fills Ganon's Tower with 15 max junk items that excludes Triforce pieces, and this aims to reduce the probability you'll need to enter Ganon's Tower to finish the game. Overworld glitches and major glitches do not apply any pre-fill to Ganon's Tower. This means progression items are free to be placed there once you logically have access. This aims to restore a more natural balance to the item randomization in these logics. I want to thank everyone so much for watching. I know this one was quite the lengthy update, but there was so much that was added in here that needed to be put into this video. So thank you guys again so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next update.